So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whenever this is. This is Match Bailey alongside Micwise and Doe Boi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is another episode of Retrospect Reviews. I know it's been a long while since I've done, the hip hop thing. But yeah, I'm back at it, just reuniting with Micwise and Doe Boi. Welcome back to the full Doe Boi. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things been a little crazy on my end, but
Yeah. I know it goes. Right? We still trying to deal with, COVID and all that kind of stuff. And,
yeah.
just life now, you know what I mean? But today, we're here to pretty much celebrate the 25th anniversary. Yes, this is how old we are. The 25th anniversary of a special album, an album that is near and dear to us. That would be the Fugees, The Score. This would be the second and final album from the group. So, just as we normally do in the show, we just do basically like an introduction, like how we got to the album, what the album meant to us, and what we just kind of thought about the careers of the artists themselves now, after the release of the album. So for me, with the Fugees, right, like how I got into them, like many people, was through their singles, right? So the first one being Fugila, and how I actually heard or saw this video, or saw the video for it, sorry, was through a little show that I imagine you guys grew up on, to call Party Flavor by Request.
Yep.
Yes. Shout out to O'Brien Haynes. I don't know where he's at, but
running a radio station.
Yes. yeah. But yeah, man, that show was my jam. That was my joint. I watched it ever since it came out in '95. And just got introduced to so many artists now, through that. But it was the moment when that Fujila music video came out, though, and I was like, this is something totally different. I don't want to spoil, because we're gonna do like a track by track review of the album, right? But yeah, back then it wasn't like anything that I heard or saw before. And what I really dug about the song and just the group themselves, of course, that would be Wyclef Jean, Lauryn Hill, and Pras, Michael, or whatever you want to call it, right? Is just that whole idea that they don't look like the average hip hop group, right? They're not rocking hoodies or sweaters or whatever it is like that. And I believe where they shot it was in the Caribbean as well. I'm just not sure exactly which island it was, or if it was in the Caribbean, but it just had that sort of Caribbean look and feel to it, like specifically Jamaican. And just hearing like Wyclef do these sort of little dancehall, reggae stuff intertwined into the lyrics and all that kind of stuff was really mind blowing to me. And then of course, this was my official introduction to Lauryn Hill. I was like, oh my God, not only is she fine as hell, but she could rap though, and then also that hook, just that iconic hook, And from there, it was Killing Me Softly, which just decimated everything.
Oh God!
You just could not escape it. It was all over the place. I'll talk about that later too. Of course, there was Ready or Not, which was one that I totally enjoy as well. And it's only like years later, and I'll find out where the sample, its specific sample came from. I'll talk about that later. But yeah. So when that album came out, February 13, 1996, like I didn't even know that, this was when the album was supposed to come out. I was just like, all right, there's a new group. They call the Fugees. They're making dope shit. Okay. This was like about a year or two later that I think it's either somebody dubbed the CD on a tape and gave it to me, or I actually bought the tape. One of those Music 3000 tapes, basically. Shout out to Music 3000. And yeah. And that's when I got into it, though. And I was just hearing all these other songs. I was like, okay, this hard, though. Like, this is different. And it wasn't just incorporated hip hop and reggae, but there's also R&B. There was just different genres and just different ideas. Put into this album now. And yeah, I was just blown away by it, right? And then, of course, later on, Lauryn Hill will put out her iconic The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. That literally changed the game, though. People, it is a hip-hop record there, but I more see it as a R&B / hip-hop record. But the way how it was just Lauryn Hill just showing off her talent, though, with just great song after great song after, I was like, yeah, this is great. Wyclef Jean was doing this thing earlier on. He had the Carnival album, which was that was one in particular that took a while to get into. Like don't get me wrong, like I had some dope tracks, like we trying to stay alive and stuff like that, but it just felt a little different from what we heard before. Oh, by the way, I mean, Gone Till November, that was a hit. That was a huge hit. Yeah. um, but yeah, what I mean. But it was Wyclef just showing that what I mean. Like I have tons of talent. What I mean. I don't just play guitar and try to imitate Bob Marley. I could rap. I could do all these other things. You know what I mean. Pras, on the other hand, I remember that he had a particular album. He had the Get to Superstar album. I remember well, that title song being a huge hit.
With Maya.
Yeah, with Maya and ODB just doing his thing. But I remember there was an attempt actually to make this particular song "What You Wanna Do" be this smash single. I remember a certain radio station, not gonna call by name, used to play that like religiously. Now I think it's because it had that oh gosh, that Boy George, do you really want to hurt me sample basically in it, right? But other than that, though, I just hear that album was booty. Nobody cared about it. So I was just like, well, so much for him, right? But yeah, what was so odd about it, though, was just that, Wyclef was the one who continued making music. He put out albums during the 2000s. I actually dug the Eclectic Two Sides to a Book. I actually think that album is quite underrated, in my opinion. That was the album that had 911, which was one of those songs that you just
please call
911. Yeah, that was one of those songs you just had to sing off key. Trent. That was the beauty of it. You had to sing it loud and you had to sing it off key. Trent.
Like a drinker, like just
exactly. Yeah, boy. But yeah, I mean, he just kept putting out albums and stuff like that. Somewhere in the mid 2000s, I wasn't like, like the music was still good, but it was just like, well, not as good as the stuff that he did before. Had a lot more R&B and more reggae and more throwbacks to old school hip hop.
Don't forget the calypso, the soca that you do with Marshall.
Yes. There was that too, and but I mean, I have to give credit where credit is due. How he was just able to experiment with different genres. I mean, it what I mean, that's what make him who he is now. But Lauryn Hill, though, on the other hand, I was just like waiting for the next album. I mean, we were all waiting for it. It's like, what? When it coming out? When it coming out? And well, it never did, right? So last thing, I just a couple more things I just want to say, right? So it's only years later that I realized that the score, somewhere in the 2000s actually, that I realized that the score was the second album from the group. I thought all these years that it was their debut, and that's when I was introduced to Blunted on Reality, which not an album that I totally love though, but in terms of like, oh, this is the roots of the group. This is where they really started from. Lauryn was doing more rapping than singing. Wyclef was spazzing out on tracks and all that, But one of my favorite cuts of it was, of course, the Nappy Heads remix. Just that instrumental alone is just, wow, just brilliant in my opinion. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the group just pretty much split and did their own thing. I'm not sure what Pras is up to. I'm not sure what Wyclef is up to. If I'm not mistaken, maybe you guys can answer this. I think he's probably doing one of those like masterclass kind of things, like where he teaching people how to produce. I could be wrong. I swear he was doing something like that, something like similar to what Timbaland doing right now. But yeah, I mean, even though they not really putting out any music at the moment, nothing could top the score though, and especially like just the impact that it had on us basically as Trinidadians, just seeing these guys who we swear was all three of them was from the Caribbean, what I mean, even though it was just Wyclef and Pras. Yeah, it was just Wyclef and Pras, but Lauryn being from New Jersey basically, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, though, it was just something about that, and then of course the music that they put out back then that. Yeah, just really, really left an impression on me, boy. So, yeah, that's all I can say. Doe Boi, your introduction to Fugees and like their work afterwards.
All right. Well, my introduction is basically the same thing. Being a kid, watching Pat Fever and seeing it, and between the ages of I would say 8, 9. Um, I wouldn't appreciate music as much as when I was getting into music around 11, 12. But I see it and I know this is vibes, basically, because it's solid, I could tap to it and whatnot. Again, now how I get the album is when I started off my album collection. Um, I had a list from the source of all the 5 Mics albums.
Yes. And Fugees was there. I remember that.
Yeah, and I was just going to the store me and Mike used to go to with this list and just showing them it and like, I want this. And this day I went with the list and she like, well, we got 3 albums that you had on the list. So I like, I could only buy one. So which 3 you all have? And I had the Ghetto Boys first album.
We can't be stopped.
Yeah,
we can't be stopped. No. Grip it on that level.
Grip it on another level. Yeah.
Yeah, on other level, right.
Right, and the score, and I want to believe it was De La Soul. De La Soul is Dead.
Love that album. That album. Yeah.
One of my favorite albums, I know. So I was like, I'll take this big score today, and next week I'll come back to the other 2. So did that. I just ripped out the packaging right inside there, watched it. Jump in a car, a taxi, for like that, no, and I just had a CD. I like, yo, play this until I reach home. Play this until I reach home. And we driving from San Fernando to Somaliland, and I just zoned it out on the album.
Right.
As he give me back the album, I just run straight to my house and play it on the player and just lie down and zone into that album. That was, and if you didn't know me in that time, I was just listening like real grimy music. And that was just the switch, like, yo, this is one of the best albums that I ever hear that had nothing to do with X or anybody. It's just like real good music. And now my appreciation for that album came out. Unlike Mike and you and thing, I was never on the Lauryn Hill train. I like the album.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the album, but it's something that I wouldn't run down. Up to this day, I still don't own the album. Because a lot of people hype it up, but I find when people overhype an album, I just get disappointed.
Yeah, that's totally true. That it happens.
Yeah, I get disappointed. So I never went to your album, but that's basically my history with the Fugees.
All right, so nothing about Wyclef's work, like any...
I had the Carnival, and the whole thing with Wyclef with me is again in the Fugees needed each other. Each other. And like salt, pepper, and mango. When you take them apart, it's just not working now. You can't just eat one by itself.
That's actually a real good point there, man. But I have my little thoughts on Wyclef himself. But yeah, go on.
Wyclef as a producer, he produced a lot of tracks, a few good tracks he produced. What people mostly remember him for now is like the Know What It Is with T.I.
Yes. That guitar, that boom,
yeah, that riff,
yeah.
And then well, with me, the track that I just remember vividly from when he was solo is the track with He Had the Rock.
Oh yeah, that's from Ecliptic. It doesn't matter. Yeah. That was always something about him though. Is that he'd always take these creative risks, like especially on the eclectic album. I keep messing up that title.
Yeah.
Where he had Kenny Rogers in a track with Pheromones.
Yeah, all kind of
Yeah, I was like,
weird. Yeah,
what?
I can actually remember when in this holding this album and listening to it. I'm like, dog, why you how doing a remix to country music? Why? So
And you have Whitney Houston doing a dub plate version of My Love Is Your Love as an interlude. I'm like, okay.
just weird. Yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
So that
That
would
was
be what everything.
All right. Well, see the best for last. Micwise, because I know because I actually checked out that interview with you and Chromatics. Shout out to Chromatics. On what got you into rap, and you did mention Lauren Hill. I remember that. I remember that. So yeah, take it away. Your introduction to Fugees and the score, and their other work. You could also include Pras if you were one of the few that actually listened to his album. So yeah.
all right. So for those that didn't catch that interview, um, the first rapper I really got into was Lauren Hill. Um, the first song I got into her though wasn't actually a rap song. It was "Killing Me Softly" because that was
Ah,
inescapable. And
yes.
Doe Boi said I wasn't like a big music head at the time, but again, it was cool because I knew the original song, which I think was
Right.
like about
Roberto Flack.
right. I know that
Yeah.
song from just my dad loving old music from way back in the day. So
Mm-hmm.
when I heard this sort of updated quote unquote young people version, I was like, yeah, rock with this hard. And then when Lauren came down solo for the Mr. Education album, yeah, they was playing Everything Is Everything, and the one from the Fugees I really got into was Ready or Not because they was playing that a lot at the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
I don't really remember Fuji La that much. I wasn't. I guess it kind of missed my radar at the time, you know.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so I was like, yeah, like even before I was like a quote unquote hip hop head, I already appreciated the Fugees. Fast forward to when I heard the score, I was 15 years old. And funny enough, now listen, like I think Praz and Wyclef are the two who have the Haitian heritage, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you have these two out of three in the group have Caribbean heritage. But they're born and bred in America, so they're doing hip hop. But they have the Caribbean slang, Jamaican slang, wherever in the music. And here I am a Trinidadian listening to the album for the first time in Venezuela. Yeah,
Oh,
heard the
okay.
album in Venezuela for the first time. This is when my Spanish class
Laticans.
time, Spanish class at the time, took a trip to Venezuela. At a time when that was back when you could take a trip to Venezuela, and
Mm.
Yeah.
so we
When you
was on the
wanted
bus.
to take a trip to Venezuela, say it like that.
Yeah, so we was on the bus, and the only person who brought music to play on the bus was a brethren of mine and Doe Boy named Chad.
Yeah.
And Chad basically had. This is when Chad was just the biggest Tupac fan for whatever reason. I don't know why. And like that was his favorite rapper. You couldn't tell him nothing about Pac. So he had like every single Tupac album and the score. So because we had teachers on the bus, the least explicit album out of the bunch is the score, right? So we just put on the score, and I got to hear the score in its entirety, skits and all, and it was amazing. It was perfect, and yeah, that is. I mean, we'll talk about it track by track later on, but yeah, classic album, still one of my favorite albums to this day. Hearing them especially mix the Caribbean elements into the slang and stuff was, big for me, because I was now about to get into writing music myself as a trainee, so that was important. And yeah, after that, I got into the Carnival album after, which I actually is the only Wyclef album I listened to, but to me it was a very good album. Still not as
Yeah.
good as the score, still commendable.
Mhm.
Lot of songs I like on that. And of course, well, eventually I got to listen to the entire Lauren Hill album. which was a classic R&B album. You know, very
Yeah.
great R&B.
There's also have this argument that it's a hip hop record now. What I mean is like Rolling Stone. Yeah, I had to bring up Rolling Stone. Put out the updated top 500 lists, and people were going off like this is the highest rated hip hop album. But it's like there's more R&B album though. I mean, just
A
saying,
great
right?
album.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, I didn't listen to any Wyclef albums after that, but he did continue to put out some singles I like, some more than others. Remember he had a song with Claudette Ortiz, where I forget the name of it.
Is it was it Two
Wrong.
Wrongs? I think it is. Yeah. That was a nice R&B, hip hop song.
Yeah, that was a cool song.
Yeah.
That one. It had one with Beanie Man. That was Beanie Man featuring Clefant.
Oh, that was good thing you bring up that, right? That was Love Me Now. So little side story, right? So it's only years I found on this, right? So apparently all right, so when when LL Cool J dropped 4321, right? Classic song, right? I know the whole drama with him and Cannabis, right? So Cannabis though, and well, all right, so Wyclef ended up producing Cannabis album. He did the diss track, aim at LL Cool J. And I think Wyclef said something. He put out some song. I think it's called What's Clef, right? Where he was taking shots at LL, right? LL come with really harsh this song. I forgot the name of it. But the very end of it, he was saying, maybe you should do some reggae. Literally, this is how he's saying it, huh? Maybe you should do some reggae. What's that song with Beanie Man? Who am I? Who am I? And that's how the song ends. It's funny, right? So I think that is what spurred Wyclef to do Love Me Now, right? Or Hate Me More, whatever the name of the song is. And just have, Beanie Man come in and do his thing now. So I feel that's what led up to that point. It was just like them taking shots at LL now,
So it was a judo flip to LL then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I think that is what went down, Shred. It's crazy, yeah.
It's our next hard one he do where he was talking about the different beefs in hip hop, dog.
That was off of that was not on Eclectic. That was on let me pull it up quickly.
Third album or something.
Yeah, but I had a name to it though, but and you see about how but what they see is what we see and what we see is reality. I remember that being a line on the album. Let me just pull up the name of it quickly. Right, that was Masquerade. Yeah.
Right, yeah, it could have been the album. That
which
song
also
was,
had Two Wrongs on it, by the way.
Yeah. And he had a song named PJs. I was born in the PJs, so I got a rep for the PJs. That was
dope. That was dope. Which was also on Masquerade. Yeah.
Yes, I guess I had to check out the Masquerade album.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as for Praz and No Ghetto Superstar, that was dope. I find that was a dope song.
It is, yeah.
I bias towards Maya for reasons not only music. I would say, even though I'm probably never gonna listen to a solo Praz album, I know Praz is getting real flack, even on the score and with the Fugees.
Yeah.
Praz is not your typical dope rapper, but he dope in his own way. And the Fugees will not be the Fugees without Praz. Doing what
I totally agree, yeah. Like people's like to single him out and say he's like the Tito of the group. The Tito Jackson.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh gosh, man, but he's put effort though. Like he's get outshined by Wyclef and Lauren, but the
when
man
we get down
still
to the
talent
tracks,
though.
when we get down to the tracks, you see where Praz outshine on all the tracks though.
True. There's one song in particular though I'll bring up, but yeah, when we get to that point. But yeah, MICWISE, go on.
Yeah, Praz definitely he plays, man. So yeah, I will be defending Praz till I dead. Big up to Praz. I don't know what Praz doing now, but yeah, big up to Praz. Also, I guess John Forte is not a member of the group, but he used to be around them. He produced a few tracks here. He appeared on some tracks. He's dope. And I love to hear more stuff from him.
I'm not going to hear from that guy.
Huh?
I'm not going to hear from that guy. He is in jail.
Oh yeah, he's
No,
still in jail.
he come out long time.
Okay.
For banging his
Sure.
daughter. Banging his daughter.
So,
What?
for what?
Yeah, but dude get locked up for having sex with his daughter, doggy.
Matthew, Google that. Not in jail anymore. But I don't know what was it.
Someone of them Fugees affiliates get locked up for that dog.
Well, I don't think it's 40 though. Don't say that about 40. Matthew, best say Google that as we hear.
I'm doing it right now, Trent. No, I'm not seeing. Okay. I'm not seeing anything along that line as yet.
Yeah, boy, that wasn't. I didn't read enough source at time, dog.
No, I doubt it's John 40, bro.
Again, all I said are Fugee associate, and he's the only one that comes to mind.
Anyway, Matt.
Yeah, let's move on. But yeah, that's something we really do have to investigate.
No, I am not investigating that now. Yes, I Googling.
Oh my god. But yeah, Micwise, you could wrap up.
So yeah, all in all, I can't say I have listened to many albums from them as a group and then solo wise, because in many cases they don't have much albums to go through.
Yeah. But by chance, did you guys ever check out their debut?
I did. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good, but yeah. I know that I do love the Nappy Heads remix.
Yeah, that I could take that from the album.
Yeah, that is kind of what kickstarted the anticipation for the second go around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right,
I mean, just the fact that they got the chance.
Yeah, wrong dude, boy.
Oh, who it isn't?
Yeah, is a refugee? Really a Fugee affiliate, but not 40. 40 get locked up for drugs.
All right. What was it? Omega though?
Trafficking. That's our reason 40 thing.
All right.
You got 14 here. Yeah, you got 14 for drug trafficking, and you got pardoned from Bush. Oh.
Who was the one with the daughter?
Well, I can search that now.
Yeah, if you do find out, let us know.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for Salam Remy and the Fugees doing the Nappy Heads remix, from what I hear the label, I drop them and we don't never get the score.
Yeah, indeed. I it's just really just how they got that second chance to pull off.
Who did Amanda was doing the video by affiliated with them? Fugees director jail for having kids with his daughter. Aswad I know.
Okay.
Would once it's nobody, I was prepared to rate up in this review.
Yeah.
I don't want to be praising.
Oh shit! He directed the Killing Me Softly video.
Wait. I really like that video too.
Oh boy!
I tell you, I knew it had affiliate with them. Now they get locked up for that. That would stay in my mind a while. Yes, and I read that.
Okay. Let me get me composure. Let me move on. Right. Okay, right, so let's move on. So I'm back at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, folks, so let's let's jump into the score, right? So it kicks off with Red intro. Why it's called Red is because...
He has 6 grandchildren.
He have what?
6 grandchildren.
6 grandchildren.
He impregnated daughters, so the kids are the grandkids. Yeah, like 6 of them.
Why would he do that? Like, is it that you just want more picnic to make more music videos or something? Like, what's the point?
Again, that's just a weirdo behavior.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, so kick it off the album review one time, right? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's kick things off with the score. So we jump in track by track, right? So we get the Red intro. why it's called Red is because we hear DJ Red Alert do the intro, right? And then we get this like really aggressive ass rant from this guy. He's a poet called Ras Baraka, right? But it's one of those like intros, like when you listen, you realize, oh, he kind of referencing some, but not all of the song titles now into this sort of spoken word piece. Listen it, like even like when I heard it for the first time, especially when you hear that beat in the background, which is grimy though. Like just the whole vibe of it is just grimy and dark and cool. And in retrospect, it's kind of funny though, because I know a lot of people probably bought the album just to hear Kill Me Softly, was expecting, oh, this thing is gonna be all, R&B and love and all kind of stuff. But what's this grimy shit going on here? But yeah, I know you guys not really into intros and stuff like that, but anything you want to weigh on the intro to this album, Doe Boi? We don't care about no intros, please.
I care.
Let's say I'm for the ass intro.
I don't skip this intro. This intro real hard though. And I don't really like tracks like that where it have no rapping and no nothing. But this was hard. This was real hard. I don't skip this at all. Fun fact, the spoken word dude Ras Baraka, because I was doing my Googles to prepare for this. He current mayor of Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, wow, look at that. It was who them Republicans I was talking about till he had tug and he had a rap album and all that shit.
But listen to what he was saying on that. No, he's a mayor. Like look at that, huh?
I googled that.
That's when you know the streets where you know your hood well enough that you become the mayor of it. That's inspiration right here.
Yeah. I rate it. But
the
intro was real hard.
Yeah, boy. And like compared to like Blood to the Reality, where it was just more like, we are just this wild, crazy group, and every so often we're gonna talk about, we get blood, man, but it's all for reality and life. This one was just like, we gonna step things up. Shit gonna be real here. You know what I mean? So now we move on to How Many Mics, right? This has one of my favorite beats on the album, especially with that tick beats, that doom, 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 doom. Like something about that, but like, when you hear it, you just nod in your head, right? And how Wyclef comes in with that pick up your microphones is something so like incredible about it. But I'll talk about Wyclef in a bit, right? So in retrospect though, having Lauren rap first, right, this really showed the progression of the group since Blood to the Reality. And in my opinion, she come through with the best verse on this track, Joe. Flow, punchlines, references, everything works right. Wyclef comes through with and just to talk about Wyclef, right, on this album. What was this again me about him, right, is that he has this kind of, how to say, this kind of stream of conscious, this kind of style, like he would see something, right? Well, when you really think about it, it don't really mean shit, but he will still make it sound like he's the dopest thing ever, right? So it's really the verse where he says, I used to be underrated. Now I take I makes my shit constipated. I'm more concentrated. So on my day off with David Sonnenberg, I play golf. Run through Crown Heights, screaming out Mazel Tov. Like, when you really think about it, like, what he's saying is just like, well, all right, this really doesn't seem much. But over the beat, though, anyway, how he delivers it, it just sounds hard. Sound real hard, right?
Yeah. No deciphering it. That was a bag of nothing that he talked.
I know, right? But he just has a way of making it sound like dope too, and I don't know. It's just something that he could have do. Like I can't think of, I really can't think off my head. Sorry, any rappers back then who were doing that. You know what I mean? Perhaps I actually really dig his dope though. Sorry, I actually really dig his verse. I think it's pretty dope. I love his too many MCs, not enough mics. Like, just something about that, like how it comes in, how the beat flows to them, that doom, 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 doom. I love that, right? For me, he have this way of just kind of making his bars sound kind of grandiose, kind of large in life a little bit, but not too much too. But you could tell that and this is the beauty of the Fugees, you could tell that they just kind of feeding off their energy, right? So Lauren or Wyclef will come in a kind of vibe. someone else would try to top it a little bit, and Pras would just kind of complement the two. You know what I mean? He doesn't stay on the mic as long as the others do, but he does his thing. I can't be mad at that, right? And I thought that he actually closed the song off really, really well. So yeah, this is a dope track. This is one of my favorites on this album. Micwise, any thoughts on How Many Mics?
Yeah, crazy, dope beat. I don't want to say one of my favorite beats on the album because I feel like on almost every track I'm gonna say that, and then the meaning will get lost. So yeah, the point you make about when Wyclef comes in with the pick up your microphones, it's so eerie and it's like
Yeah,
little shit like that does set off an album real because it's like you know something about to happen. Man.
yeah.
Yeah. In terms of the verses, yeah, Clef and Pras have this way of like saying things that don't really make sense, but the song real hard, and that is like a recurring theme from two of them on the album. Lauren Hill's verse was fire on this, as was every verse she did on the album. Um,
Agreed.
Most memorable verse though is like this man come on and was like too many MCs, not enough mics. Exit your show like I exit the turnpike. Dice and dynamite like Dolomite. Double deuce the light. I don't Dick Van Dyke. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what a
and he
lot of
just
that
make that
means.
sound so smooth, it's so easy with it.
Like
Do do
I
do do
remember
do 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 do.
Mm.
It's insane, way.
I was 15 years old. Like what the hell this man talking about? But it was fire. Like no one knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. Like yeah,
True.
about yeah, that was fire. So yeah, dope kickoff to the album.
Yeah, and also, when he says a clean getaway like Alec Baldwin cruising a fast car like Tracy Chapman, like yo, yo,
Yeah.
Doe Boi,
Mm.
Doe Boi, thoughts on How Many Mics?
Um, to me, yeah, everything about this song was good and perfect way to start off the album because they come in one time hard. Lauren come in spitting bars, and the way how it build up, it like I can understand what the try with what the song was about. That well, to me, well, Sucker MC shit now. That was the shit back in that day. Sucker MC, yeah, we coming
Yeah,
for
that's
you.
what it is.
So I can understand it and whatnot, but as I said, the flows by see Prad's flow. Let's take me out there. He can say Jello. It just sound real grimy now. It sound grimy. So when Prad's saying certain things, saying he was, I like this dude. It didn't make much sense, but it ill. But now as a older, I get to understand the verses them a little bit more because I know what some things is they talking about. So like with he turn off verses like he turn off turnpipes, that like okay, well you make a sharp detour on that turnpipe
Mm.
because yeah, like the off what we could call the off road
Yeah.
of the highway, that
Mhm.
turnpipe. So I can now that I know stuff, I can try to decipher it. But as a kid, you just know, hey, what? What?
Yeah, he just didn't care because it sounded dope, Trent.
Yeah, that is the dope, but what? What the hell are you talking about, doggy? But again, dope way to start off the album with just them going in.
Yeah, indeed, and doing their thing, right? So next track we have is Ready or Not. This is the second single of the album. And this was one for me, you could not avoid, no matter how hard you try, you just could not avoid it, right? If you didn't see the video on TV, you definitely heard it on radio, right? And still, I think the draw to it is just that beat, though, that always sounds like it's coming from, from a submarine. It just has that kind of lower depths in the ocean kind of vibe to it there. It's funny because when the music video comes, like, oh shit, they actually that's submarine. Like, what? It works, right?
Yeah, it works, but like the sample itself eerie.
Yeah. And you know how I found out where it came from is that a few years afterwards, right, like in the late 90s, early 2000s, our local station TV6 ran Stephen King's Sleepwalkers, a really really terrible horror movie, and I just remember hearing that in it. I was like, what? This is where the sample came from. Then I look it up as like, oh, it's
Would
from NES,
be.
like
Oh,
from
wow.
1986. Like, what? Okay, but yeah, if it's one thing
Sleepwalkers,
I
that's-
remember from that movie, is that song, that song there,
Yeah.
and props to Wyclef for referencing Sleepwalkers on the first line of his verse. Though, I'm like, what? The hell? But yeah, the funny thing though with Lawrence Hook is that like when you hear it for the first time, it has a kind of sensual kind of sexuality about it now, especially when you say gonna find you and take it slowly, gonna find you and make you want me. But then when you really think about it and the vibe of the song and what everybody going for, it's just like, no, this is like a threat though. Like she is
Yeah.
basically
threatening
saying,
you.
yo, I am the hardest MC out here, Trent. You even tried to top me. That's not happening, you know what I mean? But yeah, her hook is fire. It's iconic. Everybody knew it. It's one of those hooks. It's like one of the hooks of 1996. Like you knew it. You know what I mean? Wyclef does this kind of story-based kind of verse. He's talking about like growing up in the hood, getting involved in a robbery, loses his life after getting shot. You know what I mean? It kind of sets this really like dark, somber tone though. Lauren though, I mean, she comes in and steals the show again though. There's so much quotables. Like, just read it off here. I play my enemies like a game of chess, where I rest, no stress if you don't smoke cess. Less I must confess, my destinies manifest. It's a Gore-Tex and sweat. I make tracks like I'm homeless.
Yeah.
Bro, what? Voodoo, I could do it, you do easy. Believe me, front niggas give me heebie-jeebies. So while you're imitating Al Capone, I'll be Nina Simone and defecating on your microphone. Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh. You know what I mean? Brass only gets 8 bars to do his thing, but I do love how he comes with the ready or not, refugees taking over the Buffalo Soldier. Sherlock Master. And that's what I say, you know what I mean? Him kind of feeding off of the other members now. So it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Wyclef's into reggae and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do a little Bob Marley reference because I know that, you know, Wyclef's into that too. And yeah, I think that he complements them very well. He ends the verse off very well as well. Sorry, he ends out the verse very well too. And yeah, for me, this is like top 10 or top 5 like best Fugees for sure. Last thing I want to say though is that if you get a chance, there's a few remixes for it though actually. There's one, the Clark Kent Django remix, has new verses that are pre-chorus that have a really dope beat, really like jazzy stuff like you would hear. It's like the kind of music you'd hear someone like Most Def or Talib Kweli rap over. There's a Salim Remy remix which has it incorporates the Barrington Levy song on Broader Than Broadway. It's really dope, really dope. And it has this kind of dancehall vibe to it as well too. So yeah, if you get a chance, really seek those out. But yeah, the original one, yeah, one of my all-time favorites, man. Doe Boi, thoughts on Radio Nut?
This was a real catcher to me at the time because, as I say, back in '96, this song "Kill Me Softly" was everywhere. Could not escape it. But again, when I bought the album, I started vibing to it, and not hearing it in X amount of years, I started understanding and appreciating it more.
Right.
Yeah, because like now I'm listening to hip hop ears, not just radio ears.
Yeah, not in your head kind of vibe. Yeah, I got you.
And Praz doing thing on it. Praz get nasty. All of them get nasty on it. But like Lauren, I feel Lauren record she verse last. Like she was like, oh yeah, oh, you want to shit on me? You want to shit on me? Because in her tracks, Lauren get wiped, and I feel this one she get back at them. But all the tracks them that she end up wiping them with end up being hits.
Yeah.
So I feel that was what done in the session. She hears some track that she get wiped on and say, all right, I'll show you how stupid my pen game can be. Right, basically one of the best verses in hip hop history.
I
I
totally
will,
agree. I totally
yeah,
agree.
I will get, I put it up there, and the track, I think you can play this track in 2049 and it'll still make people head nut.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. This song is timeless, right? It's timeless. Micwise, agree or disagree?
Fully agree. Timeless hip hop single. And I feel the same way too because I listened to this when it was out with, like, as Doe Boi say, the radio airs. I was young, so I don't know nothing about the world or music. And it's just like a nice, catchy hook that I could sing along to. And then when you listen to it, in my late teens, it's like you realize how serious the song is and how airy it is. And
Yeah,
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 that kind of different vibe to it. Yeah, Lauren with the best verse here, hands down. Classic verse. And I love all the verses, but yeah, I had to mention Praz too, because Praz do it thing with just 8 bars. Dance around the border like I'm Cassius Clay.
Yeah.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that song, that was, yeah, that was so
yeah.
crazy.
You just have a
As
way
I
of
said,
ending a song on a great note, boy. Like, yeah,
we ain't, trust me, yo, nobody could slander Praz around me, dog. Praz. But yeah, ultimately, this is a classic. This is one of them classic hip hop singles that timeless and will live forever. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, so next track we have is Zealots, right? So taking you back, way back into time, right? So
Mm,
back in the Generation Next era of Pepsi, right? Remember when Pepsi had that Generation Next campaign going on?
yeah.
I remember there was one commercial that had this song from the Flamingos, "I Only Have Eyes for You," right? And that was where I heard that sample, that do 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 do, that I hear in Zealots. So like when I hear it in this song, I'm like, what? Like this is like I think it's doo-wop, like it's a doo-wop
Yeah,
sample.
that do up
I'm
sample.
like, what? You know what I mean? Like I never hear it say that in my life though. And then when the drums come in though, it's like, holy shit. Like, yeah, this is one of my favorite beats on the album, bar none, right? But even more interesting though, for me here, for the first time, is Wyclef coming in with this sort of like dancehall some boy kind of chant now that another MC loses life tonight, Lord. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
for me, I never hear that before in a rap song ever. Though. Like of course back then, West Coast was real playing with dancehall artists, and they had guys coming in and doing their thing, but I never heard like a sound boy chant in a rap
Yeah.
song, especially from the East Coast. So that just blew my mind. So one thing I just really love about this song, the album, is just the input, the creative input. You could tell like they was just hearing the song, they were just kind of vibing. Wyclef said, it'd be cool if we just do this little chant in the beginning and then jump into the first. I love his opening bars where he says, I heard MCs like Mephistopheles bringing swords and Damocles. Secret Service keep a close watch as if my name is Kennedy. Abstract rap simple with a street format. Gaze into the sky and measure planets by parallax. That's like the first time I ever heard the word parallax ever in my life. Huh? Um, but I love how in the third verse he do a little bit of like foreshadowing where he says, you could try but you can't divide the tribe. These cats can rap, Mr. Author. I feel no vibe. The magazine says the girl should have went solo. The guy should stop rapping. Vanish like Menudo. Which is kind of funny though, because like what happened with the group splitting and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Speak and then of course, Lauren's career just blew it up way more than the other two, right? Speaking of Lauren though, she kills it on this too. I love how she comes in. Yeah, behold, as my odes manifold on the rhymes, two MCs can't occupy the same space at the same time. It's against the laws of physics. So weep as your sweet dreams break up like Eurythmics.
Yeah.
Like, the what? What? She
Yeah.
has some of my favorite bars. So, like, while you fuming, I'm consuming mango juice under Polaris. You just embarrassed because it's your last tag with Paris. And even after all my logic and my theory, I add a motherfucker so you ignorant
Yeah.
niggas hear me.
Yeah.
Bruh. Bruh. And then, I mean, Pras now, right? So see what you want about Pras though, when the opening bars for this was hard. And I'm forgetting like when you listen, I was like, oh, that's what you're talking about. But back then, you didn't even know, you didn't even care. So he says, I compress sound sets with my rap DBX and drum vocals on my 456 Ampex. I didn't know what any of those things were. I didn't even care. It just sounded hard though. And then, well, he actually threw a subliminal diss at Jeru the Damager. I was like, oh, well, I learned that later on, but still to this day, I'm like, well, what he do you, Dread? She says,
like everybody was into it, Drew.
Yeah, like people, like, Drew hard. Like, what? Anyway, right? So she says, and for you mighty zealots, your rap styles and relics, no matter who you damage, you're still a false prophet. I like, but Drew never do that until I'm like, what happened? You know what I mean? But anyway, this song is fire. I love everything about it. Dope track. MICWISE, thoughts on Zealots?
Wait, I know catch that thing. No matter who you damage, cause you know, Jeru had the prophets. They can't stop the prophets.
Yeah, can't stop the prophet. Yeah. Oh yeah, that Pete Rock remix though. One of my all-time favorite. Pete Rock remix, I must say. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but still, dope song. As you mentioned, the how Wyclef come with the dub plate sound boy burial intro.
Yeah.
Well, I should say. Like that was big for me because I always know reggae and dancehall to be that, and hip hop is something totally separate from that. That's just kind of how. Remember, I was young too, so I didn't even hear like KRS-One and thing mixing it up even before. So hearing that, I was like, "What the hell is this?" I never hear it like put together like that until I heard this album. And again, this is like the fourth track and third song. And yeah, I just remember this is that time in the bus late at night in Venezuela where, like, when I heard this song after the other two, I was like, yeah, as soon as I get back to Trinidad, I cop in this album. Like, this is one of the first things I had to do when I reached back home.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this album is out. I need this album in my life, you know? So, yeah, dope track. The sample was ill. Like, that is the type of shit like my dad used to play back in the days now. So, again, like, they referencing music that I was already familiar with and just putting their own hip hop twist on it now, you know. But yeah, Lauren kills it. You already quote the best bars from her verse, and yeah, everybody did the thing. Praz again with some abstract bars that just sound fire, and yeah, overall, yeah, Zealots, dope song.
Yeah. Doe Boi, agree or disagree?
Yeah, totally agree. And again, this is another instant where Lauren was like, I am going to show you how stupid my pen game could be. She basically spazzed. She went in and just basically flip everybody table. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, fuck your shit. Bam. So the sample went well while I watching the producers. So that say Clef produced that. Yeah, Clef and Praz produced that.
Yeah. I was noticing them producing quite a lot of tracks of this album actually.
That was that the beat was real. Something I noticed now with the album is that how most of the beats was real missing on this album. It had like you can say itchy but they had like real grim, murky, dark beats. And it just worked, And now realize that because this beat real dark.
No, it is. Yeah.
Real dark, but just how the flow on it did, because if Biggie had that beat, you know where Biggie would have go. So them just went totally left with the beat, and loose, and it sound real loose. It sound
Mm.
real loose.
Yeah.
So again, out the park, another hit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so next track we have is The Beast, right? And if you were like me and you will listen to this song, you just had that heavy rotation, Dread, you probably was walking around the house singing the hook, "Warn the town, the beast is loose." Ah! Ah! Like, nah, first time I heard that, I was like, what is this? This is crazy though. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just it just kind of sums up the whole vibe of it. And then when you hear the beat fit, which sounds so forlorn and just sound like real depressed and bluesy. You just hear that bow, 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 guitar in the background, like real grimy though. Lauren's opening verse, in my opinion, is one that should be studied in schools, you know what I mean, in universities or whatnot, boy, because she just goes off though. Like the writing, the anger and disappointment in her voice, the breath control, just everything just works here, man. She comes with a similar verse later on, but it's not as intricate as it. But it's still aggressive and just that rage now. And basically, it's just them just talking about why the government hate black people, why the police hate black people, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. There, I always love Wyclif's verse here because he's just throwing a bunch of references. Batman, Gotham City, Star Wars, Chewbacca. I love
Mhm.
one of my favorite lines where he says, "Connie Chung brung the bomb as it comes from Oklahoma." Like, so that one just works though. Um, Also cool, right? Is like when he actually like starts his verse, right? He after the whole Connie Chung thing, right? There's a point where he just takes like a little brick, and you hear the sample that comes on. So in your head, you're thinking, "Oh, the hook ain't coming again," and there's like,
And
no,
he
the man
started
just
back
jump
into
back
yeah.
in, dread, and like the anger just raised even higher, dread. Like what? You know what I mean? Pras's verse isn't as strong as Clef and Lorendo, but he does bring it to a solid close, though, in my opinion, right? So, yeah, dope track. And then last thing I just want to say, though, it have, after that, one of my, in my opinion, one of the funniest skits I've ever heard, like, on an album ever in my life. And there was a point that I actually knew every line to the shit, though. This is the Chinese restaurant skit. Um, it
Classic.
real dumb. It dumb. It's so dumb. Like you wouldn't even imagine. You wouldn't even picture hearing this on a Wu Tang album. You know what I mean? But something about it, do the acting, the okay then you want beef. Everything about that, though. Like I say, I just knew it word for word, though, and still to this day, it just have me cracking up. Joe. But first time, I nearly dead when I heard that. It was just like the most. That was like the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. So yeah, Beast dope track. Doe Boi, thoughts on the Beast, and if you want to say anything on the skit afterwards.
Well, I'm gonna talk about the skit first. The skit real funny.
Yeah,
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 the skit funny. And again, I don't skip this album, so when skits come on, I'll just let it play. Is it something that I'll pay attention
yeah,
to? No, but it's funny.
yeah. And you have to give them props to it, like how they able to have these skits come after the song. Like they wouldn't have skits be separate tracks, you know what I mean? You just have it like come right at the tail end of a track. So you just have to give it, let it play because the next track coming up right afterwards now. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're smart. Okay, I see what you're doing there. Okay, people like to skip tracks. Okay, right. But yeah, anyway, go on.
So the track itself now, this is where I find Clef's style because I like Clef verse more than everybody else on this one. Find Clef went in on this on the beast. From the hook to he verse, Clef went in. Say they can say Praz run out and last leg, he ended off strong. And learn verse is not strong as the two that come before, but good. So,
All right, I got
yeah,
you.
I mean,
Yeah, all right. Well, Micwise, thoughts on the Beast?
Yeah, Beast was hard, man. And I got into this song right around the time when I started to become more aware of like shit that was going on and still going on in the states. you know. So in terms of the government, in terms of police, in terms of what's being done to black people. So yeah, I listened to that song and then I started to get into, you know, becoming more aware of what was going on. In terms of this song, yeah, with Matthew, when you say Lauren's first verse, that is the one that stands out to me. One line that stood out was when she talked about Newt Gingrich, and at the time,
Yeah.
for the first
And she
Newt
ends the verse with that, but it's just like boom, full stop right here. No?
Gingrich. Yeah, it's like, who's Newt Gingrich and why does he suck dick? And then I found out who he was and I read up about him and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, you do suck dick, Newt Gingrich. Yeah, I hate you. So yeah, it dope track. I remember the beat, like it catch me off guard when it first hit because it's probably yeah, it is definitely the most unorthodox beat on the album, I would say, because of the sounds. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like
but it was
blues, but it's like a weird kind of blues. But something about it just sounds real
yeah,
depressing when you think about it. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, dope song. When I first heard it that is the one song on the album. It took me about a couple listens to really get it, but once I got it, it right up there with the rest of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
dope song.
And no thoughts on the skit, right?
Oh shit, I forgot that. Yeah, the skit was hilarious. I too, Brethren Chad, we knew this shit word for word as well. We used to just randomly play this in school. Funny as well. And it made no sense.
No,
It be
but it
so,
works. It's so funny.
where does this fit in? It doesn't fit into anything, but it was funny and I loved
Yeah.
it.
One thing I forgot to mention too in the sketch though, in that same skit, is he really like blatantly Chinese music that plays in the background. That makes it even funnier too, especially when you hear that baby, baby in the background. But yeah, go on.
I listened to it well today. I was thinking to myself, is this offensive? Is this wrong?
I
Uh,
think it is.
In this day and
yeah,
age,
It
it
is. It
would
is.
be.
It is not politically correct at all.
Yeah, in this day and age, yes, it would. That album would be shelved if they did that. No.
yeah, but you know what? For its time, it was funny, and I could appreciate it still. So yeah,
Right, right, right. So
dope skit.
next off we have the first single of the album, Fugee. This was my shit back in '96. Every time the video popped on the Party Fever, I had to watch it. Uh, I don't think it had as much heavy, radio play as Radio That or Kill Me Softly, but whatever, right? Shit was hard, right? Um, Salah Remi's beat though, for me, like I said earlier, didn't sound like anything I heard before, but it was just something about it, the way how the beat sounded, that do 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 do, just something about it. Just like it was weird, boy, but
It
it just
sample the
fit. It
sample
just fit.
itself that you
Yeah,
take. It's how weird song to the sample.
yeah. Wyclef's pauses on this beat, dude, just like how many mics. It's one of those verses like when you sit down and really read what it is he's saying, it make no sense, but over the beat though, it just sound hard. It's like when he comes in, we used to be number 10, now we permanent at 1, and the man lost my finger. Mike became my arm, pistol nozzle hits your diesel. Blood becomes lukewarm, tell the woman be easy, now squeeze the shaman. Test Wyclef, see that flesh gets scorned. Beat you so bad, make you feel like you want to be born, John. I tell your friends, see the hell out of my Lord Chicken George, become dead George, see the chickens from my farm.
Yeah,
But
boy.
over that beat though, you don't even care. It's like the hardest shit ever, genuinely. He even delivers a really great pre-chorus. And that is where, he was bringing in that Jamaican vibe to it with, what's going on? I'm gonna come in so I'm gonna come so we soon done. Gun by my side just in case I gotta rob. A boy on the side of Babylon trying to front like you know with Mount Zion. Also, don't make sense, but when you hear Babylon and Mount Zion, you're like, what? You know what I mean? And it just works though.
No,
Um,
but no, that
yeah, go
I
ahead.
Now the West Indian, and we already know it is the Babylon.
Oh yeah, we know. Yeah. But just hearing it on a rap song, though, it's just like, what? You know what I mean? Lauren was just feeling herself on this beat, too, and like I say, you know, when we saw it for the first time in that video, it's like, okay, wow, you know what I mean? But yeah, the hook is iconic too. Even Redman all reference it on his song "Whatever Man" off of Muddy Waters. That was how big that hook was, right? Quotables in her verse too, like. Yeah, in saloons we drink booze and battle goons till high noon, bust rap tunes on flat spoons, take those shots like poo booms. See hoochies pop coochies for Gucci's and Lucci's. Find me in my Mitsubishi eating sushi, bumping Fugees. Bruh. What?
Why this What?
What?
Why this stab at Kim and China Doll though and Foxy?
And, you know, I really love her ha 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 moments, though. Like that,
Yeah.
that always took me just so infectious. It's like, yeah, you know, what I mean, nobody was touching us back, touching the Fugees back then. Pras ends it off with a dope eat bar verse, you know what I mean. But I mean, this is a great verse. You know what I mean? I sip 90 degrees underneath palm trees. Like, you know, you knew that, right? But yeah, top 3 favorite Fugee song in my opinion. The song is Flames back then, still Flames today. This last is what I say. It have a couple of remixes. It has a refugee camp version, which is pretty dope. It has this really mellow, relaxed beat, something like what Outkast would have done back in the days. And it have a Slide Robbie version, which has this dancehall beat in. That one is my favorite of the remixes. Just that beat, just bringing that dancehall vibe to the song. But yeah, Fujila, not much more I can say. Love this song. Micwise, any thoughts on Fujila?
Yeah, this is same thing like Ready or Not. This is a classic hip hop single, not just a classic Fugee song, but classic hip hop single. Yeah, Wyclef said a lot of nonsense in the verse, but with strong style, and is the perfect lead off because when you start a verse saying we used to be number 10, now we number like yo, like that is where you say you start off on your first single saying yo,
Yeah.
he's number 1. Oh, and you come with that energy. Flames.
Yeah, there was energy in that man verse, boy. No doubt.
Beat from Salam Remy, like yeah, crazy. I don't know where he got that sample from. I'll probably check that up when we done this. Lauren with one of her best verses. Incredible verse. Just the way she was flowing and rhyming and all the different patterns, you know, crazy. Praz too with some memorable lines.
Wow. I find the sample, buddy.
Yeah.
The sample is if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
He real manipulate that then. Funny. I think this was the first video. Killing Me Softly was the second. Ready or Not was the third. If you notice, all the videos just got more expensive.
Yeah.
All them was selling because all the videos get more expensive.
You know?
Because that was like a movie. Like,
yeah.
So, good for them. Yeah.
This was like we chilling in the backyard shooting the video.
Yeah. And you just have this random Jamaican looking, you know, detective, you know, chasing him down, all kind of thing. I actually really dug that video though. It's still entertains me.
Well, yeah. You had to shout out Colombia for spending that back then.
Yeah. for real.
It really was seeing coins from this album.
Yeah. Anything you just want to weigh in on Fugee Doe Boi?
This same thing like Fugees in 96, 97. You could escape this. This had to play somewhere. You could be in a wedding and you might hear this. So, as Mike said, this was one of the top hip hop songs of all time. This will be one of the top hip hop songs of all time because the hook so infectious is a fool la la la. Yeah. Lauren on the hook. Game. Wyclef setting that energy. Game. Everybody spans on it. I don't want to say nobody had a booty verse on this.
No.
Yeah, everybody spans. And again, back to placement. This album had good album placement because everything feel like it flowing cohesively so far. Because you don't
Yeah.
reach track 5, and we had to complain like, "Boy, this song was too early." Everything flowing cohesively now. So again, I just had to point out, but this track, it, I didn't know it was the first single because honestly, I thought "Ready or Not" was the first single.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I tend to forget that, but no, I did more research, so yeah, it's the first one. Yeah.
I wonder
That's
who
like,
was the heads that pushed that, man. Say like this had to be this is the track to push the album.
yeah. But that was a smart call actually. That was really a smart call.
Yeah, that was I want to know who's the heads that say yeah, this is the track to push the album.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, so now we have Family Business. This one here, I really like. I always dug the how moody and chilly and dramatic the beat for this dude. Just the guitars in the background had this Western vibe to it, right? And to me, this is like the cool down moment after like the high, literally, of Fugee, right?
Yeah.
We have guest rappers Omega and John Forty. Pras not even in this. I like, well, one, I have no room in the boot for like 5 rappers, or you have everybody else but he. So okay, whatever. But basically, it's just about, well, you know, how easy it is to lose your life in the streets, how important it is to just be aware of what's going on and just to protect your loved ones, your family, right? Everyone delivers solid verses on this though. But one thing I just want to mention, right? It's always fun, like when I heard it for the first few times, right? Like after Wyclef comes with his verse, right? And then he does the hook, right? Well, they do the hook, he comes in with a second verse, right? And like he sounds so aggressive, like real hyper in it there. And I swear that was like someone else. Only a few more listeners like, oh, that's actually Wyclef too. He talking about, you know, that's the kidnapper and bring the money and all that kind of stuff. Like, I swear that was just they brought in somebody new and he just come with real high energy there. I realized, oh, it's Wyclef. I'm like, what? Okay. It's kind of a weird moment though, but like when I hear it now, I just kind of crack over it. It's kind of funny. But to me, this is a dope track. It's a highlight for me. Then at the very end, we get this dub played version of the Killing Me Softly hook before, you know, comes in. And I thought that was like really cool because at the time I didn't really know what a dub plate was. But then, you know, me hearing it for the first time as a Trinity, I was like, what? You know, how they really incorporated that Jamaican dancehall vibe into this album, you know, killing a sound boy with this song. You know, it was hard, right? So yeah, Family Business, dope track, man. Doe Boi, any thoughts on Family Business?
It's a cool track. I like the planning behind the track, as I say, the idea of what the track is about. But as I say, this track this album I know booty albums, but they one that, as I say, it just catch me off guard and I don't be as I'm fit. I like it, but it just
Yeah, is it that song you look forward to?
it,
I know. It just kind of comes in and kind of creeps up on you, and you're like,
it
but it's
just
cool though. But I wouldn't go back to it in a hurry. But it's cool though, you know.
it's a good song, but as I say, it has its moments, but as I say, like same thing with the salt, pepper, and mango. When you remove one, it don't make sense. The leaf price out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Pras had stuff to say. You know, what I mean, him being in New Jersey and all, but you know, they just decided, nah, boy, no room, you know. Sorry.
Big man, you run late. You run late. Yes.
Probably not. He keep it late.
But well, that's a cool track. He had from John Forte for the first time.
Yeah. And I actually thought that Omega was dope as well too. But yeah, 40 was great. I like how is that so much rapid fire flows, but just how fast he raps though. But you can always tell what he's saying. It's really dope. Yeah.
That feels on it.
Yeah. Micwise, thoughts on Family Business?
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite songs on the album. It's like one of the top 5 songs for me, actually.
All right, okay.
Oh, it changed the tone of the album because you know come from the jubilant single. Now you kind of come back down to earth and just a lot of reality being talked about. I understand wanting prayers on the song, but as Doe Boi say, I think Omega and John Forte kind of make up for his absence. Um, Omega had a big part to play in the song too because he shared the hook with Clef. So
Yeah, he did.
Omega did a lot. To me, Forte has the best verse running the ankle leg, and yeah, this shit dope because the beat. I'll say it about this song. This is one of my favorite beats on the album. It's
Nice.
simple, eerie, it's dark, it's subdued, and this track does have a vibe to it.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so of course you all know what the next song is. Killing Me Softly. I wouldn't stay too long on this because everybody knows this song by now.
Everybody at the grandma's supposed to know this song.
This is where we lifted our arms in the air and we hailed Lauryn Hill as a new queen of R&B, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and there's only years later I realized, oh, that bang, 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 bang was from Bonita Album. I was like, what? Okay, right? But yeah, you could not escape that song. It was everywhere, Trent. So, I'll just throw in this little true story, right? So, I'll never forget a few years after the album came out, right? I heard the song play on Music Radio 97. And the DJ at the time decided to play the album version. So when the song was wrapping up, now that's when you hear Ras Baraka coming with there's a breaking point, man, and they'll rat on you. The family nigga's gonna rat on you. And like the DJ realized, oh I need to stop it right here, boy. And I was cracking up, boy. I was like, they actually came with that on 97. True story, like I say, that was brilliant, Jen. But that all goes to show the impression of the song, that how people kind of went into the score expecting more of that, and then you get all this grimy stuff. It's like, yeah, but to me, last thing I'll say, right? Looking back at it now, yes, it's a great song. It's timeless. Everybody loves it, right? But I think that this song being in it wasn't just to sell records. Like that wasn't the point of it, right? It was just to show simply that there's talent in this group, Trend. So I don't just, in case of Lauryn Hill, I don't just rap, but I could sing, you know what I mean? And that's where it went, you know what I mean? So, and then you'll see that again with another song. We'll get to that later. But yeah, it just shows that, there's variety in this group there. You don't know what to expect, but there's talent in this group there. So we didn't sell this R&B song just so you could buy a record that have all this grimy stuff in it. But still, it's just a part of who the group is. And I mean, for better or for worse, it just helps shape the group there, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, not much more I could say. It's a great song. It's timeless. Everybody loves it, right? And I think that, yes, it deserves to be on this album. And I mean, if it wasn't fit, then, yeah, we would be talking about the album. We would be talking about the score today, in my opinion.
We would be talking about the score, but
yeah.
It would be hard for me to find the score.
Yeah, exactly. Micwise, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I agree. This is one of them things that, like, on track 8 of a straight up hip hop album, it come with a cover. Like, it's one of them things that are not really supposed to work on paper. Like, when you think about it, but it worked because
yeah.
Well, they really took the original Roberta Flack song and they made it Fugees. They didn't just do a cover for doing a cover's sake. Like, like real subdued on the instrumental side, but the drums.
Like I was listening to the beat. When I was listening to the album, I was like, but yeah, this beat real low key, and yet still
just on
works.
drums.
Yeah,
basically, her on drums, and
yeah,
it worked, and just it had a very Fugees touch. Like, it wasn't like, okay, we're just gonna do Killing Me Softly on a hip hop beat that, anybody else could have do. Like, no, that particular version, like Mary J. Blige couldn't have do that. Faith Ever couldn't have do that. It would have only worked if it was Lauryn and the Fugees. Like, even the intro with Wyclef talking about one time, like that work, and that's a big part of this.
Yeah.
So it made it just essentially a Fugees thing. And to take a timeless song like that and really make it your own. Like, I know people just talk about making things their own. No, they really make that their own number. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And it works for some reason. It works.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it does really for some reason. Doughboy, your thoughts on killing me softly?
First thing first, a lot of people didn't know this was a cover.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Even I myself didn't know till like I think it was like on 9/7 stuff that she played the original version. Like, oh, okay. It's
Again,
cool.
when this did come out, I was a kid, so I didn't know it was a cover. But later on, throughout learning music, I realized it was a cover. And for you to have a cover better than the original is striking gold. Because this Killing Me Softly plays way more than the original.
yeah.
That much is true. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, plays way more than the original. She ended up getting a coin, a big coin, through this thing because
Roberta, yeah,
because now she's still collecting royalties off of this cover. So she get a good coin. So, and like what you all see with the beat was real. I don't want to say mellow, but it was so plain moon. A bass, not big. It was just a bass and a boom bap drum loop. And that is the beat basically. And the Wyclef come and sprinkle the extra sauce with it one time.
Yeah.
That was the secret sauce.
Yeah.
But more or less, this is still timeless. This will go down as one of the best songs period in human history.
Yeah, and it pretty much shape just music in the late 90s, in my opinion.
This song was the rise of Lauryn Hill because people realized she could sing.
Yes, exactly.
So she get rolling sister act and all kind of thing.
well, before she was a sister act before she even joined the Fugees actually. So that also didn't know till like years later. So
yes, same here. But this was the shooting point for her. This was like right is it.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so now we get to the score, right? So finally, the title song. Always dug the record scratches. So this where you're hearing lines that you heard already on the album and lines that you would hear as yet. Diamond D, who I still think is one of the most underrated, producers ever. I dug his beat for this. Is real moody and grimy and kind of, low-key as well too. Yes, that like something like real low-key there. But I just kind of love it in terms of how the vocals tend to pop out there, basically, right? I actually love how he ends his song off with a solid 8 bars. And for me, this was like my introduction to Diamond D. And I didn't know about DITC at that point, right? I think that Lauren steals the show again. Her voice is still as well. I like how braggadocious Wyclef sounded this too, and even bring a little Wu-Tang, vibe into it as well too. Like I dug the little Five Deadly Venoms reference where he says, "Put the poison in your tea and kill the toad," but I'll be back when he sent to me. It's like, okay, somebody was listening to a lot of Wu. Okay. Prass gets 8 bars as usual. He does his thing. But yeah, overall, pretty dope track though. And as far as the sketch that comes after it, this is the Michelle Leslie Brown sketch. I actually dug this. It's kind of funny in my opinion. Doe Boi, thoughts on the score?
I didn't know Diamond D produced this. And I own the album.
Oh well, I could be wrong, but I know he had that input in it.
Listed. He and Wyclef listed as producers.
Oh, okay. Right? All right. Yeah.
So, but I know he do the scratches. Shocking to hear them with scratches. How 90s of them.
You know,
Uh,
I love scratches, right? So it would, yeah,
but as the title song, it it gave a mood. And again, placement. This was the perfect song to put down to bubble down from the higher Killing Me Softly. Plus two to really full of switch palette now. From going from something sweet to something sour. To,
yeah,
like
understood.
yeah, so your taste will be more heightened. It, it's something like that with that. So you're coming straight off of that happy ass song and you're coming into this grind. Yeah. A nice palette switch.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. Micwise, thoughts on the score?
Yeah, man, dope song. I love the grimy sample. Like really and truly listening to it now that I know so much about music and moods of music. Like this album, very some of the samples and beats very grim and grimy, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
as Doe Boi say, yeah, this was the placement of this was interesting because you now come from Lauren singing she heart out to yeah, we giving you scratches on the hook. You know what I mean? We not even gonna have no Wyclef or Lauren singing on this hook. Like no, we
yeah.
going
Uh,
straight 90s. So
and even worse though, like on the hook with Wyclef, do it left, right. So you're bringing
yeah,
a militant vibe into this album now. Like what, you know?
and not killing me softly. No, and it you would think that the score would have follow up Family Business better if you're talking about the tone and the
Yeah.
direction, but putting Killing Me Softly in between those two, like in retrospect, is like a master stroke that again shouldn't work, but it worked really well. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. This song was placed correctly, and it's a dope song. It's one of the most underrated songs on the album, and I think that is due to it being so low down. But I mean, yo, real ones know this shit was hard.
Yeah, it was. And now we have the mass way. So
Ah,
y'all might get mad at me for this. Agree to disagree, Jed. But this is my favorite song on the album that
all
wasn't a
right.
single.
I have a friend in you. I have a friend in you.
Oh, I thought it was gonna say like you do like it. Oh
What?
well, yeah.
No. From the moment I heard the beat for this, Jed, this was stuck in my brain. And like,
That was
it
stuck in
had
your
years that
brain.
I didn't even listen to this
That
album
was
and it
stuck
was
in your
still
brain.
lodged in my
Every time I
brain.
get the hook, brother, M to the A to the S to the K, put the
Yes.
mask on your face if you want to. Imagine I hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I go on.
So is the everything about the song works by the horns, how they sound jazzy and real bluesy and downcast, you know what I mean? The drum beat fit, the vibraphone in the intro.
Yeah.
The way how the horns sound at the beginning of Prass's first track, that to me is one of the best moments of an album. Period. That's that.
Yeah, it have a kind of
Like
de la soul horn feel to
yes,
it.
yeah. And just how Prass flows this that 3 a.m. on the morning on the boulevard. I'm still at large, engaged with my entourage. Me and Godfather in the 67 Dodge. I stepped on the note to post on my God. And how he flows that boy is like mind blowing. Of course, like you say, the boy, the M to the A to the S to the K hook. The whole idea that, we all wear masks to conceal our identities. What else? Wyclef's verse, which is so cynical and dark and funny about him working at Burger King and all the drama he went through there. Lauren's verse about some dude from back in the day literally trying to thief a wine and she and then
Yeah.
trying to hit on her and then then his girl come in and she'd like, check your man because bitch, get out of place. And then, well, of course, Prass with his thing with trying to locate his car, which got stolen, and always ends with him almost shooting this rookie cop and all that kind of thing. And points for the Give Me the Loot reference, though. It took me a while to pick it up, though. Where he says, I
Well,
realized I've been bumping too much
you
Mickey
shot
Smalls.
him? No,
I
I
said,
didn't have the balls. No, I
okay.
didn't. You shut up now. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
have the
no,
balls.
yeah, so
That when I
they shoot him.
realized I'm about to my Biggie Smalls.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So I was like, no, because I remember, well, of course, he ended up giving the loot where it ends with a shootout with the police there.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, okay, okay. So yeah, to me, this is like my favorite Pras verse on this whole
Same.
album. Dread.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, I love everything about this album, about this song. Dread. I love it. I love it. But especially Pras's verse and this whole those horns coming in the first four bars. Yeah. Doe Boi, thoughts on Mask?
Well, they're my favorite song of the track and the whole cut.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're my favorite song. See, I remember everything in it because like this does just stick in my head. The beat, everything.
I'll tell you, it's sticking in your head, boy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Michael verse does have a laughing. Lauren verse does have a laughing, but Praz verse like on a different level to everybody else. So,
Yeah, boy.
because like that was how storytelling supposed to be done for anybody. Praz really went to storytelling, and how you were talking that it wasn't he can't get stolen. He end up something along the line a stolen car, and the police have come and the pin what it was pitting he for murder.
Oh, okay. Right. I was trying to remember how he got involved with the,
saying
how he got
they
involved
go
with the
be
whole
pitting
thing
you
there.
for murder.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing, and then as I said, the way how you drop it with the Biggie Smalls reference make me go and ape shit when I was a kid because biggest Biggie Smalls fan like it has me. Because that Biggie reference, I went ape shit for that. But this this is see this little spread that you have here from the score to Cowboys. They went I just get real funky in my house. I want to mash up shit.
I don't believe it. I
Yeah.
don't believe it.
That
Mike,
makes
right. Micwise, thoughts on Mask? Oh, sorry,
Well,
the Mask. The Mask.
I don't. The reason I can't say this is my favorite song on the album is because I never actually tried to think what is my favorite song on the album. But this is like had to be definitely top three.
yeah.
Uh, could be top two. Who knows? It might be my favorites if I really sit down and think about it. Yeah, one of the best hooks ever. Period. In just the history of rap for me. This hook real bad.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is. It
well,
is.
they switch up the lyrics. I think for every hook. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Certain lyrics after the M to the A to the S to the K parts. So yeah, this was dope. I think this is the song where Clef and Praz conspire together to get back at Lauren for outshining them on so much songs. It was like going through that, we gotta get this bitch out of here, and they did. The verse was dope, but Praz, as I said, the Biggie Smalls reference was at the end was dope. The whole story, this whole track, the storytelling was on point from all three of them. Um, I like how Praz did that Biggie Small thing because at the time they was trying to separate the type of shit Biggie and them was doing to what people like the Fugees and Tribe and them was doing. They was trying to have this whole separatist
Oh,
kind of.
oh, you're alternative. You know what I mean? You're not hardcore, right? Yeah.
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 So I'm glad he said that. But to me, the best verse here was Wyclef verse just because it's so like it's storytelling, but it's the most unrealistic story. Like
Yeah.
you work at Burger King and the manager say, you could go to the front, but you had to snitch on the other employees. And Wyclef is like, hell
Hell
no.
no, sorry. Wrong
Every
MC. Why should I be a spy when you're
But
spying?
don't find me.
pull a gun on the manager and he get fired, and then he get kidnapped by feds to go and build for World
Build
War.
missiles for World War III.
That just like that could never happen. But it works, and the fact that he like sit down and put pen to paper on that and say, you know what, I gonna record this story that could never happen. The fact that he had the balls to do that and put that on an album, yeah, he killed that shit. One of my favorite verses on the album because That's so outrageous to me. So yeah, The Mask, that's a classic hip hop song. Not just on the
Yeah, indeed. All right, so next off, we have a song that first time I heard caught me completely by surprise 'cause I didn't think that they were going to go that direction. Cowboys, and I feel so sorry for people who bought this album only to hear like "Killing Me Softly" kind of songs, and then hear it talk about getting shot by cowboys. But yeah, to me, like outside of the Boom Biddy Bye Bye remix with Cypress Hill, this is like the most gangster you will ever hear the Fugees, Dread. Well, that's all I just mentioned. Yeah, that's all I come to mind right now. But yeah, this is the most gangster you hear about the album, though. And it's a posse cut too. So you hear Peace One, you hear Rad Nigga. This was the first time I ever heard of her, by the way. Young Z and John Forte, who kills his final verse though.
Again, this shall just name this Outsiders and Fugees.
Yes. Because yeah, the Outsiders coming, like finally coming to this album, yeah. But yeah, though, even Pras sounds dope in this. Like, I love when he comes in with the Kenny Rogers reference. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And how he sings it, though, it works, right? But yeah, boy. But they could have do Pras just a little better. Like, he didn't even get his own verse. He had to share it with Young Z. Well, I mean, they do a little tag team here, and Young Z was fine, though. Well, was great, actually, I should say. But you gotta get Pras one verse. I mean, it's Pras, man. I mean, come on, right? But yeah, like I see, John Ford, he snaps on this. He ends this on a good note. I just love the beat for this, though. And it has this sort of Western, even though I know it's a sitar. Probably it's a sitar, or maybe it's a guitar. That bing, bing,
That's
bing,
sitar.
bing, bing. Yeah. But it sounds like a Western, you know what I mean? And it's just all these Western references and gunslingers and all that kind of stuff, though. But yeah, like that shit was grimy. I didn't think that Fugees was gonna go there. But yeah, it's one of the most memorable songs in the album, one of my favorites on the album, hands down. Micwise, thoughts on Cowboys?
Yeah, the energy on this song was dope. Yeah, sitar and Western references probably don't work on people, but it work here. And the first three verses really was back and forth because you had Pace One and Clef doing the thing. Then you had Lauren and Radiga.
Yeah.
Had Young Z and Praz. Then John Fortes, he won't manage to, I taking my own verse. I'm not doing that tag team thing with all you.
Yeah, because I John Forte tries the hardest one this whole song.
I mean, it was dope at the time. Like, I had already heard. I obviously know Radiga from Flip Mode Squad, and I knew Young Z because Eminem used to put him on like D12 shit and 8 Mile soundtrack, so I was already familiar with Z.
Right.
And yeah, this was actually, I guess, the first Radiga and Young Z. I guess this would have been the first like major placement on like a major album like this. So yeah, the song was dope.
Yeah.
Me and Chad, my brother, again, the person who gave this album to me in school, like we used to just be walking around school going, "Ole
he." Everyone wants to be a cowboy. Grab your guns, boys.
We used to like something wrong with me, but they didn't get it, so screw them.
Yeah.
Dope. This is one of the best songs on the album. I don't want to say that's about too many of these songs because then it's going to make sense. But yeah, this is like a top 5, top 6 song on the album for me. So yeah, dope.
Yeah. And it's only years later that I realized this was actually a single,
Yeah,
not as big as the first three we mentioned, but yeah, this was a single too. I'm like, what? Okay. I do. Yeah, Doe Boi, thoughts on Cowboys?
This is my second favorite song on the album now.
Why am I surprised?
Yeah, that was so mass, and then my other shit coming up. So like, just the beat so menacing, and then Wyclef put the wild self again. Only that one does show you off the everything so dark and grimy, and then Wyclef does another kind of sense of humor to it. And I'll be like, yeah. But he gone.
You would only do that when you're wrong people, though.
Yeah,
sorry, like you would like you don't think of them kind of things when you're by yourself in a studio. It's only when you're wilding with people and you have a room full of people.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you can be in that zone here.
Yeah, let me just do some wild, some wild on the song. Yeah.
That's right. And the Desperado, new name for good boy.
Yeah,
All them
another dancer
dance
reference.
reference
Yeah,
there. That well, now this is the first time that I hear Radiga because the following year was when Flipmore will be coming out. Um, the Flipmore album will be coming out in '97. So this will be the first time everybody hearing Radiga.
right.
And she spit. She spit. She
Yeah,
and Lauren Martin together well. Praz again, Praz and C. Everybody do the thing on this track. But again, the track was structured well. Well.
yeah. It was. It was.
Pairs make sense. How they pair them up, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's structured well. So again, can't argue about this track. Second favorite track on the album.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so few more tracks to go, right? So we have No Woman, No Cry. And it's funny that this will come like right after Cowboys, right? And then, before that, there's a little intro with, sorry, a little sketch, well, a little spoken word thing, talk about, how easy it is for innocent people to lose their life on the streets, that kind of vibe there. But it sets the tone to this song perfectly, right? And what I love about this song, like, just really look at it now, is that, you think, some people might think, oh, well, Killing Me Softly is just for them to sell this gangster record, right? But what, like I said before, no, it's just to show the talent that this group have. So here, this is Wyclef's show. This is him showing off his talent, right? Him with the guitar, him singing Bob Marley, him trying to sing like Bob Marley, and it works. So even how he changes up the second verse, I think the first verse as well too. To make it more, New Jersey though, from where he's from.
Dog, yeah.
Yeah. And it works, so it works. And I love the fact that this song actually exists though, you know what I mean? So, in a way, like, this is like the flip side to Killing Me Soft. Like, oh, like, this is the B-side, basically. You all think, oh, we just put this song out here once again to sell records. But no, here's this other thing, and we use it in a different genre this time here. This is something that fits Wyclef, and this is a genre that he will continue to play with his other records. But yeah, this is a faithful remake of the classic Bob Marley song. It's a brilliant remake in my opinion. And yeah, not much more I could say though. But just like I say, looking back at it, it makes sense that something like this would be on the album, and I have total respect for that. Doe Boi, thoughts on No Woman, No Cry?
You see that good cover, a good cover. As you see, this was the show where we have the singer. Now we have somebody that could do reggae. So just to do that reggae cover, and the casting, as you see, ain't nobody more popular than Bob Marley. Than you might get a lot of Frank Sinatra and shit, but Bob Marley real popular. So if you want to push out Bob, yeah. No man, no cry. Every white person in America feel connected to Bob Marley in some way. So in a good cover, Wyclef really, 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 really went in. And they, as I say, when you're closing up the album, you don't really need to impress much. Just show off what you can do. And that was basically that what they're doing here. It's those big sparkles.
Yeah, agreed. Micwise, thoughts on No Woman, No Cry?
It wasn't bad. I get what he was trying to do. There's one song on the album I could live without though.
Same.
Because I felt like, you see how Lauren cover was, they made that a Fugees thing.
Oh, okay, again, this one felt like more like a tribute to to Marley, right?
No, I would have, this would have worked by itself. Like if you just put this out as a tribute to Bob Marley on like Bob Marley birthday or something at some points, then it would have worked for me. But just on the album, it do really work. I find they could have just go from Cowboys to Manifest. But all in like I wouldn't say the cover itself is not good. I just do think it something about it being on the album. I just feel like, oh, Lauren do a cover, well I gotta do a cover too.
Or put it as a bonus track.
Not even as a bonus track because yeah, it could have worked as a bonus track. Because I already do love the bonus tracks on this album, but yeah, you could have put this as another bonus track. So yeah, something so. But not on the main album with everything else. So yeah, this is the one kind of I'm not too sure about moment on the album.
Right. So you might get mad at me for this too, but now we get to the final track kind of. This is Manifest. And if I had to pick a least favorite, because I mean I love all these tracks, don't get me wrong, right? But if I just had to pick one that's, kind of at the bottom, let's say this trash, is this one. Like I get the point of it, the whole dramatic the beat is with the guitars in the background, how it has this kind of tension to this stream of consciousness kind of bars, has pseudo philosophical and religious stuff going on. But I just felt like given what we heard before, it was a little too complex, a little too esoteric, like almost like, okay, now we're going to get really profound here. Though. But, at this moment, the album, like, wrap it up. So you're kind of wondering, like, okay, is this, like, we supposed to leave the album kind of thinking that there was more to everything that we heard before, something like that, you know what I mean? So it has this, like, I think if they just sequence it, like, earlier on in the track list, then it would have made much more sense. But to close it off, it's kind of weird, in my opinion. However, though, I do have to give credit for incorporating that the same beat that opens and closes the album, right? So I'll give them that. To me, I think Laura comes through the best track, because you feel the emotion, her talking about her heart getting broken and all that kind of stuff. And to me, it feels like this is like the genesis of the miseducation of Lauryn Hill album, basically, right? And yeah, I mean, as a closing track, I mean, it's good. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. I just felt like it just should have been somewhere lower, right? And then, of course, we get another grimy ass run from Ras Baraka to close the album off. I do, like, even when I heard it back then to now, the whole analogy about letting a motherfucker kick you 5 times and then the way to stop it is just break off your feet always had me thinking, just always something about that that always stood out to me. So, yeah, not much more I could say. Doe Boi, thoughts on Manifest and, the end, the outro.
And the outro. Well, Manifest is one of them songs, as you say, it just they lost in the shuffle, but it just bland with weight is it just make you think, well, why shut off the album in this mood? I could understand why now they want to do it, but at the time I listened to the album, I'm like, yo, this could have been up earlier, but understanding the mood with the whole thing, because it was going what it was going for with the whole Manifest idea, and okay, yep, with same thing that I with learn with the heartbreak and whatnot, and how she come into that with moving along. So I could understand it now with the showing you, well, triumphant, being triumphant, manifesting to be triumphant, but key, key, that could have been, we could have a little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, but it's still good, still a good song, right?
Yeah.
Let me guess. Micwise, you disagree with us, right?
Well, I only know this too. I have no problem with the album ending off on a somber note. But yeah, I it's not one of the best songs. What really holds the song up for me is the first of all the fact that they took it full circle with the same sample. the same piano sample that they use in the intro. I like that. Also, well, Lauren's verse is a top standout for me. One of her best verses on the album, and I saying a lot compared to what she do before, you know. So yeah, it's not one of the standout songs, but I ain't too mad at it. Remember, you gotta understand, they set such a high standard all throughout the album before that, you know.
Yeah, I understand. It's kind of one of those examples, like you just think that okay, the bar was high, you're gonna edit high, but they already raised the bar, so it's like, well,
If the
it's one of
preceded
those.
wasn't so monumental, then we'd have probably appreciate the song more. But still, there's a dope song, and I ain't too mad at where they put it, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah. All right. So last things last now. Well, okay. So I mentioned a few of the bonus tracks. That would be like the Fugee remixes, right? But the particular one that always stood out to me, and I'm actually same thing to you guys, is Mista. For me, this is how I describe it. Right? Like when you're in the studio, Dren, and you have a guitar in your hand, and you're on real shit. This is the kind of song you make.
yeah,
This is exactly the type of song you make, Dren. First time I heard it, I couldn't control myself. It was like the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? I still make me laugh every time I hear it. And to me, the beauty of the song is not so much the guitar, right? The acoustic guitar is the conviction, though, in Wyclef's voice. But like you feel how he's not even angry. He's more like just to the point of just like depression, where like he just had enough of it. Even though it's like this vagrant, asks him for asks him twice, like on the track, right? He asks him for money twice, right? First $5, then a quarter, right? But it sounds like this man was just bothering him for years and years and years. And just Wyclef just saying, "Look, I'm done. I'm fed up. I'm done. Leave her alone." I just feel that in his voice. And it's just how the song escalates in the very end, especially we talk about when you're just going to use that to get drugs. It is hilarious, though. And yeah, for me, all I'll say is that if I ever decide to learn how to play acoustic guitar, I really should. Yeah, this is one of the songs I learned how to play, but I really want to like practice singing the song too, because yeah, the beauty of it is singing it too. You had to sing it the way he does, boy. But nah, Wyclef outdid himself with this one. The mere fact that he didn't even break character in the song. I could tell like he probably in the background he was like ready to like stop and just start laughing there. But he just kept it to the very end. Right? So round of applause. I'm glad that this was a bonus track. If this was on the album itself, it would have just been like, all right, why all of a sudden I'm not too sure going on, you know what I mean? But yeah, Mr. I love this song. Micwise, thoughts on that bonus track?
how long was Mr. by chance? It was like 2 minutes, or it was short.
About
about
2 minutes. Yeah.
It could have worked if he shortened it to like 30 seconds. It could have worked as one of the skits after one of the tracks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already had this kind of like abstract,
Yeah.
not really abstract, but just kind of okay, they're just there for the sake of being there skits. So you could have had this moment here too, as well.
Yeah. But well, yeah, all in all, it was real funny. A very odd way. Well, I know Manifest is the technical last song, but I guess the version of the album I have, like, it ends with this, so it's like, okay, odd placement for me at the time. But as I say, I didn't try to read too much into it. It's just obviously just Clef in the studio with the guitar, just doing his thing. Just to touch on the bonus track before the Sly and Robbie remix of Fugee, Akon was actually at the end of that song.
Yes. I think that was the first time. That was before he got arrested, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So and then after that, Mr. That was it. That was end of a classic album. So yeah.
Yes, it was. Doe Boi, thoughts on Mr.
You can't get no dollar from me.
Yeah. He's singing that. Oh, by the way,
Every
Wyclif's
time I
singing
give
it
you a
this new way.
dollar,
Yeah. He real come true, but he real come true.
you go get stuck up with me. That, as I say, I a Jones track in a studio that I think they will just say, yo, put this up. People will find this mad funny. Because it does have sessions like that where you just doing random dumb shit. Mike and all know that what we mean this the real dumb shit in the early in the studio.
Yep.
So it could be something like that and he just like, okay, while man time and like, yo, this shit's so funny, are you sure you can put this on the album? People like it. I have
Yeah.
zero problems with Mr.
Yeah. I mean, that was a perfect call putting that on the album, John. And yeah, no, if we look at it as, the bonus track, which it is, it is a great way to end the album off. So in closing though, I mean, this is what second and final album we got from the Fugees. So I mean, yes, it is the best Fugees album. You know, what I mean, just because, right? It's one of those instances. But just look at it now, just like listen to it again. Though, what I really appreciate about it is how these three artists though were just able to bring their ideas and creativity to the table, try new things, see what works, what didn't work, and just roll with the stuff that was working there, you know what I mean? How they brought musical influences like reggae and R&B and doo-wop and just all these things though. But then also too as a sophomore record to be darker than the original though and still miraculously, right, through the grace of God, somehow earned Grammy wins and,
Yeah.
accolades as, best albums of the 90s and of all time and all that kind of stuff, Jen. Offer something that, was a grimy sequel.
And
Because, when it comes to sequels
that
in
was
hip hop,
like
you have,
one
you
of
have to go
the
darker.
I think this album was one of the few albums that went diamond.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. It is. But I mean, I can't speak for everybody else who listens to the album, boy. But yeah, there's so much enjoying this, boy. The production, the lyricism. I mean, Lauren really stepped up from Blood to the Reality. But in fact, everybody really stepped up though. But Lauren though takes the win for me though, and that's surprising that her career blew up though as big as it did, and mainly off of
Nosedive as
singing
quick
too
as
though.
it
You know what I
did.
mean? Sorry.
And Nosedive as quick as it did.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, even that though too, Trent, is like they really need each other, Trent. You know what I mean? They really was able to do so much together, Trent, and then when they tried doing it separately, it didn't work. I remember like in the 2000s when the single "Take It Easy" came out though with the Fugees. I was like, oh my god, they're coming back, and nothing ever happened from it, and that real disappointed me though. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever get a Fugees album again though in a hurry. But I mean, for what they did here, though, they just really brought a lot of creativity into hip hop. I mean, that was nothing new. It's not like it went out the park or say that back then. But just what they brought, though, just the song ideas and just everything that they brought there, though, it's stuff that like on paper would work, but just because of the creativity and then most importantly the chemistry. Because yeah, I mean, creativity is one thing, but if you have that chemistry, though, it works. So people will say what they want about Pras, though, but how he was able to just feed off for what Lauren and Wycliffe was doing, and then vice versa, just back and forth. I mean, yeah, out of that we got this great album, Jen. So while it's not, a 5 out of 5 for me instantaneously, I'm still going a strong 4.5 out of 5, man. This is still one of my favorite albums ever, though, in my opinion. Loved it the first time I heard it. Listened again, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? You just feel just that camaraderie, you know what I mean, basically between these MCs, right? It's a shame we wouldn't get that again in a hurry, though, but just to be a fact that it influenced so many artists and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, who knows? We might see another Fugees type group, you know what I mean, in the near future. So that's all I have to say. Micwise, last words rating on the score.
Yeah, this album was the it's like it was grimy, but the griminess was so accessible at the same time. Like, and that's very, very tough to do. So kudos to them for how they did this. I remember when that Take It Easy song came out, wasn't too crazy about it. I actually don't want another Fugees album because I don't think they're gonna make anything close to this. This is, to me, this album is perfection.
Yeah.
All the way through, the way they, as you say, everybody individually stepped up. Lyrically, Lauren, stole the show on this album, but we still had to give props to what Pras brought to the table and what Clef brought to the table.
Yeah. And as you brought up Wyclef, though, like I still see him as sort of like the mad genius, like the one who just knew, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, but still, you know what I mean? There was still that input from everybody else, though. So it wasn't just a one-man show, basically. You know?
Yeah. Well, I will say this with the production, because when you look up the credits and you see, more or less these songs were produced by Wyclef and Pras, or Wyclef and Jerry Wonder. It kind of, you see that the tracks were produced by committee as opposed to one man, and that makes sense because he would go on to produce the debut Cannabis album, which was horrible. So I don't know if
it was.
like, because that's a big drop off in quality of beats. We agree.
Yeah. Cannabis was off.
Totally, yeah.
So
Even that second round KO beat, though.
Nah, that beat was dope.
All right. Well, to be fair, that one song and oh gosh, the other song When We Roll, those like my two favorite beats off the album. Everything else, nah, good.
But yeah, all in all, this was even some of the remixes, like the Salam Remy remix already or not, like that was dope too. So yeah, all in all, Fugees gave us some great music, even though it wasn't much. We can't talk about Fugees and not mention also in '96, I think it was. They work with the Warlord, Bounty Killer, on Hip Opera.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Another one of my go-to songs, music videos on Party Flavor, by the way.
Yeah, so that and all was another big moment, seeing that. So yeah, all in all, yeah, this is a classic to me. This is 5 out of 5. 5 mics. If I give it, if I go in with the mic rating,
Yeah.
It's in my top 10 albums all time.
All right, so, cool. Yeah.
And the thing is, it holds up, so it aged so well. Like, it's still
that is true.
2021. Yeah. So that's the main thing about it. So
yeah,
5 out of 5.
All right. Well, Doe Boi, last words of rating on the score.
This is a great album. And making an album great like this in '96 with a lot of competition that you would have been having to deal with at that time, because it had real dope albums in '96. And them find their own lane and was pushing it, because I think that Tribe album out that year.
Oh yeah, Beats Rhymes and Life came out in '96. Yeah, but matter of fact, this year I'm for sure going to be talking about quite a lot of '96 albums for sure.
That '96, it had Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt.
Now the Roots, Illadelph, Half-Life. That's what I really, really want to talk about. Just keep my fingers crossed that I get a chance to do that. But especially that Reasonable Doubt, because I know I already promised Micwise to talk about it. But yeah, that is a must discuss.
Like a lot of good albums, and this is just one of this album just set off that whole year, and capture that whole year, and it wasn't strictly, you say hardcore hip hop, and it wasn't conscious. It was a blend of everything. It was a perfect color. So that will make it more palatable for people, because it have stuff like Killing Me Softly that are normal. It could play on Hot 93.
Yeah. Play on pop
and
radio, adult
play on pop,
contemporary radio, that kind of thing.
and still get play on a hip hop station. So that was it. The album crossed boundaries and genres, and that what makes album when people that not accustomed listening to that music willing to listen to it and finding stuff that they like it. This will always be in my collection. This album will always be in my collection. I will give it 5 out of 5. It'll always be in my collection, and I would tell anybody, if you want to buy it, they sell it music.com, have it on vinyl right now. You can buy it on vinyl. If you have a record
Oh, cool.
player,
Okay.
go and get this album.
Yeah, indeed, and that's pretty much the message of this episode here. By the score. All right. So as we normally do before we part ways, Doe Boi, where can you find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Lord Drippleton. You can find me on SoundCloud at We Hate You Doe Boi. That's it for right now.
All right, and it's 2021, and we're still waiting for that beat tape.
Still wait.
Yeah, what's going on? You can still have to wait because me and Mike have something cooking up right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's all I can see. Me and Mike have something cooking up. It should be finished by, microwave finished by June.
No, I said April. I never say nothing about
Yeah, I say June.
Say June. A little more ambitious. Right now.
It's just an extra month, dude. Come on. Sorry, 2 months. 2 months.
Yeah, that is it. Now we focus right now. So you can get this, and then we can talk about beat tapes.
All right, buddy. Okay. MICWISE, where can we find you online? And of course, you can plug your album. EOTY, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right, MICWISE 88. That's MICWISE 88. On Instagram and Twitter. MICWISE Official. That's the channel on YouTube. And yeah, if you go on any of my social media links, you could get it basically takes you directly to my latest 2 projects, 868 and also Wise Squared, which is a collaborative project between myself and soul singer John Squared.
Shout out to John Squared.
Yeah. And yeah, well, I'll just say this, the plan for this year is a lot of music, so when it drop now. As I say, follow the social media and you'll be up to date with everything.
Yeah. All right, you can find me on Twitter, just look for Bear Beat Bailey. On Instagram, you can find me at Bears Beats and Bailey. On Facebook, just look for my name, Matthew Bailey, along with the Illegally Black blog, official fan base, where you find the link to this episode and, of course, the other episodes of Retrospect Reviews, and, of course, Bears Beats and Bailey, which I do with Ricardo Medina. So, yeah, gentlemen, thanks for coming through. I'm glad that we got the chance to review this great album here, such an iconic album. And, yeah, this year, it being 2021, and of course, just so many great anniversaries to look forward to. So yeah, we hopefully will be doing some more collabs this year, man, for sure.
Yeah, for it.
And yeah, that's pretty much about it. So once again, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever this is. This was Matthew Bailey and MICWISE. Thanks for coming through.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
And Doe Boi, thanks for coming through.
Yeah, you all know. It's the Codeine Snorlax, Doe Boi.
Codeine Snorlax, I love it. And we are signing off another episode of Retrospect Reviews. So until the next one, take care, stay safe in and out. Look out for that Rona. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.